भारतवर्ष के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी से अनुरोध है कि वह अपने उद्बोधन से हम सभी को अनुग्रहित करें। स्वागत है महोदय।
Honorable Governor, State of Maharashtra, Shri Ramesh Baisji, Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha, Shri Om Birla ji, ever grateful to him for having guided me, inspired me in my functioning as Chairman Rajya Sabha. Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Maharashtra, he believes in commitment, assignment and not designation. Shri Harivanshi, Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha, grateful to him. He has been spinally force behind me in discharge of my duties. Shri Rahul Narvekar ji, Honorable Speaker of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, I share with him legal credentials. We both happen to be lawyers. Shri Sitaram Jirwal ji, disarming modesty, had the good fortune of being received by him, Deputy Speaker, Maharashtra Assembly. Dr. Neelam Ghore, Deputy Chairperson, Maharashtra Legislative Council, Honorable Speakers, Deputy Speakers of Legislative Assemblies, Chairman, Deputy Chairman of Legislative Councils, Secretary General Lok Sabha, Shri Utpal Kumar ji, Secretary General Rajya Sabha, Shri P.C. Modi, Secretary Generals and Secretaries of Legislative Assemblies and Legislative Councils, distinguished audience and members of the table office. At the outset, I must indicate why I am addressing this august audience while sitting. The rationale is very apparent. The House is in perfect order. A chairperson rises only to secure order in the House or some exceptional situations you are aware. Since the House is in order, but I must give credit for this to Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha of having guided me on this point. Congratulations on the occasion of 75th year of the Republic, a historic milestone in the journey of Bharat, mother and largest democracy and home to 1/6 of humanity, a rare accomplishment being applauded by all in the world. The spectacular celebration on January 26 on Kartavya Path revealed our exponential, phenomenal, all-around growth, cutting edge of our women power. That was a unique feature. Technological progress, depth of our culture, and upbeat mood of the nation. Ample manifestation of the firm foundations of growth in Amrit Kal, ensuring Bharat at 2047 will be a developed nation and global leader. I must put it on record. Wherever there are assemblies and councils working in tandem and togetherness of the two presiding officers is very essential. As chairman, as I indicated, it has been my privilege to work shoulder to shoulder with Lok Sabha Speaker Shri Om Birla ji. There have been many occasions when his guidance has been very, very helpful. I got the accolades, but spirit guidance was his. Friends, Shri Om Birla has introduced many path-breaking changes in the Parliament. They are difficult changes, but he has brought them about seamlessly without any fanfare or publicity. Paperless functioning is being just one facet of it. Technological introduction is another facet of it. Getting the best out of human resource is the third one. This conference, as indicated by the Honorable Speaker, Lok Sabha, is a milestone. It takes place in the financial capital of the largest democracy. I am indeed privileged to make my closing remarks on this occasion. I would like to congratulate all participants for having adopted 5 very appropriate resolutions. These resolutions on being implemented will lay firm foundation of Bharat at 2047, as I indicated. Resolution for effective functioning of legislative bodies in accordance with letter and spirit of Constitution will turn out to be very soothing to our people at large. Capacity building of grassroots Panchayat Raj institutions and urban local bodies to help strengthening the vibrant and ancient democratic ethos of our country will create human resource that will ably participate in legislatures and in parliament, particularly keeping in view the path-breaking legislation providing for reservation to the extent of 1/3 for women, horizontally and vertically, in Lok Sabha and state legislatures. The third resolution, adoption and promotion of emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, for improving efficiency, transparency, productivity, and engagement with citizens. Disruptive technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the kind have entered our functional areas. We have to live with them. It is our obligation as legislators to provide for mechanism of regulating them. The fourth resolution, to improve their effectiveness in enforcing accountability of the executive. Now, this is the most fundamental role of legislatures. They are ultimate, impactful mechanism to bring about, in effect, transformational changes in executive by enforcing accountability. And the last resolution is equally important, as indicated by the Honorable Speaker, Shri Om Birla ji. One nation, one legislative platform, a dream of the Honorable Prime Minister, is required to be achieved because it will make institutions people-centric. It will bring about much-needed proximity and their involvement. Friends, before coming here, I have had the benefit of enlightened inaugural address of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, and thought-provoking address of Honorable Speaker yesterday. Friends, I need to record now that the kind of exemplary patience, sagacious approach that Shri Birla ji has shown in handling Rajya Sabha. He is being reckoned as one person in the country. I go all over the country to find out. He gave platform to first-time members of Parliament. And the joy, happiness they shared with me that we have addressed Lok Sabha for the first time in the time zone extended by the Honorable Speaker. I will urge all of you to nurture, ensure blossoming of first-time legislators. It's a lifetime moment for them. He will be ever remembered for several things, but this will take precedence over all others. Friends, another significant thing that has taken place. We are organizations that create law at the state level, at the central level. But we do not have a platform so far that we make available to the people at large, to the academicians, to the bureaucrats, to the lawyers, to the judges, the laws which we make. We are the most authentic platform to make available that mechanism to the people at large. They will get access to most authentic access to acts, rules, and the debates connected thereto. I am grateful to the Speaker Lok Sabha Shri Om Birla ji for having devised a mechanism that on the Parliament website we will have all the laws made by Parliament, all the rules. The work is in progress. It is a matter of time. It will help my fraternity of lawyers and judges. It will help legislators. And legislators will get greater assistance because what he has devised is not only making of law, but the debates connected thereto. If you get all these things in one place, you can imagine the contribution of our legislators will improve massively. Friends, a strong democracy thrives not just on sound principles, but on leaders committed to upholding them. As presiding officers, we bear the responsibility to be guardians of these democratic pillars. Our duty is to ensure the legislative process is meaningful, accountable, effective, and transparent, giving voice to the people. The past 2 days' deliberations, of which I am privy, because I had the occasion to speak to half a dozen amongst you on the deliberations. The insights will surely guide us in steering your houses with greater efficiency, impact, and will also help you to be strict in certain aspects. Secretariat brainstorming fueled by the insights of presiding officers over the last 2 days, I am sure, I am optimistic, confident, I have no doubt, will lead to more efficient legislative practices, bringing about discipline and decorum in houses and strengthen committee mechanism. This will ultimately bolster public trust in our democratic institutions. I can say without fear of contradiction, much needed public trust in our institutions. The deficit of trust could not have been more extensive, more painful, and more prominent. Discipline and decorum in legislatures has been a deep concern of the people and the recurring topic of discussions in various time zones. Yet it is unfortunate that incidences of indiscipline and unbecoming demeanor in our legislatures are on the rise. And they are on incremental trajectory to the pain of the people at large, whose public servants we all are here. This is an extremely disturbing situation and calls for greater introspection amongst all stakeholders to find a way out. The enormity of this decline, friends, you all are stakeholders. You are in driver's seat. The enormity of this decline is rendering legislatures irrelevant. Legislature is most appropriate, impactful platform for reflection of all shades of opinion. People from all over the state or the country come here. They bring on table various points of view. There is need to be receptive to the other point of view. If we don't give attention to the other point of view in these platforms, where will be the proper occasion? Consideration of a point of difference is essential. It is in your judgment, your discretion to accept it or not. But not to lend ears to the other point of view. The point to which you do not agree is not appropriate. It devalues democratic mechanism. Parliamentary debates are cornerstone of a truly vibrant democracy, an effective tool to effect scrutiny and probe of executive decisions and government policy. Who knows better than you that if an opposition member was to ask a particular question, you can direct the government to come out with proper answer. If that is not taking place, you have mechanisms to put in place discussions. This has been done by me on some occasions, by Mr. Bidla on various occasions, very impactfully. I can tell you, friends, there are ministers in the government whom he has not taken kindly because he tilted towards the side of probity, scrutiny, transparency, and accountability of governance. That confidence the people want us to deliver, and I'm sure you will take note of it. The quality of discussion will certainly go up if you will be in productive mode. Contemporaneous scenario, the scenario at the present, that debates have been reduced to quarrels. We are missing the debates. They are just not there. This is a very painful scenario. Emergence of this ecosystem is debilitating our parliamentary democracy. How disgusting and painful for the public. Look at the people outside. They elect us. They have expectations from us. They want their aspirations to be realized through us. And look at how painful it is for them. The spectacle when some engage in disruption, and then all the more painful, they take pride in the disruption. How can we witness and countenance such kind of degeneration and respect such unbecoming conduct? You are the people, you are the epicenter, nerve center, who have to engage into correctional therapy. You alone can structure a mechanism, and Constitution and rules have given all of us enough power to deal with that. Disruption and disturbance, friends, is no less than COVID menace to democracy. As a consequence of this menacing trend, both productivity and quality of contribution are virtually nosediving. When legislators engage in disruptive and unruly conduct within the hallowed precincts of legislative bodies, it leads to subtle public erosion of faith in the institution created by the Constitution. That is nectar of democracy. The erosion of public trust in the representative bodies, or for that matter, in the representatives, is perhaps the most worrisome thing we should engage utmost immediate attention of the political class of the country. Disruption in legislatures is cancerous, not only for legislatures, but also for democracy and society. Curbing it is not an option. It is absolute necessity to save the sanctity of legislature. No time is left. We are perhaps cliff-hanging, and we need to awaken ourselves. It is alarmingly worrisome that disruption and disturbance in legislatures, temples of democracy, have assumed monstrous dimensions, posing existential challenge to these institutions. Why would people believe in these institutions if the constitutional ordainment of our obligations is not executed by us? Friends, you know more than I do. You have been in politics much longer than I have been. It is no secret where disruptions and disturbances are planned, at whose behest placards are printed and slogans coined. This political weaponry is counterproductive, has no place in our system. It is antithetical and disastrous for democratic values. Friends, time for legislatures to engage in stock-taking, and perhaps it is the last time, because the executive of the country is performing exponentially. Phenomenal growth is being seen all around. The world is applauding our governance. But when it comes to legislature, we must see the writing on the wall, notice its dwindling impact and respect in society. Agitations on streets, friends, mark my words carefully. Agitations on streets are indicative of lack of faith in legislatures. What is being debated on street is our agenda. We are the most authentic platform to discuss the issues facing the people at large. As a matter of fact, agitations are byproduct of our failure to make these institutions, constitutional institutions, dysfunctional. I plead with you all to find a way out, evolve rules to deal with current challenges. It is our constitutional ordainment. We need to vindicate our oath. We need to perform. It is no time for us to think about it. It is time for us to act and deliver. I have always drawn inspiration from the Constituent Assembly. Friends, Constituent Assembly met for about 3 years, had several sessions. They were faced with very contentious, divisive issues. It was difficult to come to a same level. But they negotiated it by consensus, debate, dialogue, deliberation. There was not a single disruption, not to speak of placard or coming to the well. If we take pride in our Constitution, why should we not draw light from the kind of conduct they exhibited? I urge through this platform all legislators in the country to emulate the highest standards set by our founding fathers for holding meaningful, purposeful, and constructive debates in the Constituent Assembly. You go through those debates, sharp reactions came from both sides, all sides. But they could negotiate the rough edges only by dialogue and communication. Friends, high time for presiding officers, and we all are here. We need to invoke our authority to enforce discipline and decorum, as lack of these is virtually shaking the very foundation of legislatures. Go to our family system. If a child in the family is not adhering to decorum, discipline, he has to be disciplined. Disciplined to the pain of the person disciplining him. We have to nurture these institutions. We have to ensure that optimal performance of these institutions, and therefore we should not hesitate to deal with indiscipline, indecorous conduct. Our resolve should be to have zero accommodation for disturbance and disruption. As presiding officers, it is our bounden duty, and it is the first bounden duty, because other duties cannot be performed unless this duty is performed. And that duty is, we must emphasize the importance of discipline and decorum in our legislative bodies. We need to remind the members of our houses constantly, they are not individuals alone. Their agenda can't be personal and political alone. They are flag bearers of the hopes and aspirations of the people. They have been elected by the people to work diligently to achieve the common good of society. I appeal to the people at large, and from this important platform taking place in the financial capital of the country, and in particular to media, people, media, and the intelligentsia, please sensitize your public representatives. People have a great role. Intelligentsia has a great role. Media has a great role. Their response would be most effective disciplining mechanism for those who are rendering legislatures dysfunctional. Through you all, I appeal to legislators also to be abreast of change taking all around, engage in capacity building. They must be inspiration and motivation to others by their exemplary actions. I am happy to note that Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and legislatures have taken initiatives to adopt technology. But sometimes we find members insisting that apart from the technology, we must continue with the earlier mechanism also. We must handhold such members We must provide mechanism to those members, and we must fast head towards paperless working. That I am sure will happen. To ensure blossoming and flowering of democracy, I call upon legislators and parliamentarians to believe in 4 Ds. These 4 Ds are dialogue, debate, decorum and deliberations, and to keep away, to maintain maximum distance from 2 Ds, disturbance and disruption. I urge the speakers and chairpersons of legislatures to be harbingers of technology. Adopt technology in overdrive, in your personal capacity, in your official capacity, because by doing so, you will be exemplifying by example to the entire country that we have to change with technology. I leave you with a thought, the sage advice of the first President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. I quote him, "Opinions will and must differ in regard to many political and economic matters." No doubt about it. We see it every day. We can't be on the same page of any change that is being brought about. So I quote him, "Opinions will and must differ in regard to many political and economic matters. But if the good of India and her people is our dominant urge, and that is our oath, and we realize as we must that this good can only be achieved through the methods of peaceful cooperation and democratic processes, then these differences can only add to the richness of our public life." I unquote. Friends, I am confident that this conclave of presiding officers and secretaries of our legislative bodies will set the template for maintaining exemplary discipline and decorum in our august houses with a view to strengthen people's trust in our democratic institutions. Before I conclude, I make an appeal. Our Indian Constitution, as is being brought to the notice of everyone, is not the one which was signed by our founding fathers. The Constitution has amendments, they must be added to it. But why should our people not know about the 22 paintings that are integral part of the Indian Constitution signed by founding fathers of the Constitution? I look at Shivaji, and he is there in one of the parts of the Indian Constitution dealing with elections. We have Ram, Sita, Lakshman in part 3 relating to fundamental rights. We have Lord Krishna and Arjun on discourse of Gita in Kurukshetra, and many more. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, our Jayanti Dhankhar Ji, many are there. Our 5,000 depth of civilization is reflected in those 22 paintings. So I urge to all the honorable speakers to take steps to make available, to begin with, all the members of legislative assemblies a constitution that carries all the amendments up to date and the 22 paintings. Friends, let us engage forthwith in revamping our legislative landscape for a more vibrant and respectful democracy for 2 good reasons. Our Amrit Kal is our Gaurav Kal. Firm foundations for growth of Bharat have been laid. Rise of Bharat is unstoppable. The rise is on incremental trajectory, and I have no doubt, and you also have no doubt, that in 2047, Bharat will be a developed nation and a global leader. Thank you so much for affording me an opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Thank you so much.